This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, hello all. Welcome to the next session, SAP ABAP. In the last class, we have discussed about some of the basic and important concepts in ABAP, basic ABAP programming. And so, before going to the those recapping those things, maybe so if you want to develop any program, so we need to have an input, and we need to have a processing logic, and also we need to have an output, and also we need to have a database, right? So as part of the input design, we have seen two kinds of things. One is parameters and another one is the select options. So parameters provides the single input values. We can input only single values by using parameters, and also whenever you use the parameters in the select statement in the where conditions, what is the meaning of input, guys? So whatever you enter, I need to get those values only, right? So you are filtering. So even I'm going to fetch the same data by using select statement. So in the select statement in the where condition, we need to use the equal as an operator when you use an parameters. So this is the syntax parameters, and the always the parameter starts with the p underscore, and you need to use the type as a keyword to define the reference. So that's in the parameters. But select options, guys. So suppose if you want to have a range, see here I have a date, from date to the to date. Suppose if you want to have a range kind of inputs, we are going to use a select options, guys, and it provides in a ranges, and also it provides in a multiple value selection. Even I can provide in a multiple values as an input as well. That's in a select options. And whenever we define a select option, guys, so whenever you talk about multiple values, definitely here the select options object, the screen field should be in a like an internal table, right? So no need to declare an internal table. So the good news is the SAP is going to create an internal table for you with the inbuilt work area and with inbuilt internal table with the fields sign option low and high fields. And sign means include, and so I means include, E means exclude in the sign field. And option we can give the between and not between, and equal and not equal to, less than, greater than. So this kind of conditional the expressions we can give it. And low field means it's in a from field, high field means it's in a to field, guys. So but whenever you define a field with the select options, if you use in the select statement in the where condition, you have to use an in as an operator, guys. That's an select options. That's what we have seen in the last class. And also, guys, we have seen about the reporting concept and what exactly the report. So display the data in a user required format, whatever the user want. If you display that format, the data in a screen, we are going to call. So it's in a display the data in a user required format in the screen, that we call it's a report. There are two types of report. One is classical reporting, another one is the interactive reporting. Classical reporting means so display the summarized data in basic list or first list, we call it in a classic reporting, and display the detailed information on a secondary list, we are going to talk it's an we are going to call it an interactive reporting. Just I have introduced the reporting events in the yesterday's class. So the events which we have seen is that there are different kind of events we have in the reporting. The classical reporting events, we have initialization, at selection screen, and at selection screen on field, at selection screen on block, at selection screen on value request, at selection screen on help request, and next page, uh, start of selection, end of selection, top of page, and end of page. And in the interactive events, we have at line selection, top of page during line selection, at user command, guys. So we'll talk about this. And maybe so when you talk about initialization, what exactly the initialization? It will be triggered before the selection screen display. So you can see the arrow. This is my selection screen, and this initialization is triggered before displaying the selection screen. The initialization event is triggered or executed. And next at selection screen, see, after I input some values on the selection screen, when I execute it, the at selection screen event will be triggered, guys. So that's an at selection screen yesterday we have seen. And also start of selection means, so start of selection, when you process the input values successfully, all the values whatever you entered, there is no errors, nothing wrong. So whenever you think about Gmail, so when you enter Gmail user ID and password, if it is success, So the user ID is correct, the password is correct. Where it will go? It will go and display your application, right? Here also same way. So when you enter all the values properly in the input, we are going to display the output. So that output will be displayed by using processing logic. In the processing logic, we are going to write in a write statement. So that will give an output to your screen, guys. And also, if you want to fetch the data from database, we are going to fetch the data from database, case. Start of selection, the event which will be triggered after processing successfully in the input values, the start of selection event will be triggered. So that's what we have seen in the last class. Initialization. So it triggers before the selection screen display. It provides the default values. So if you want to default the values on the selection screen, we are going to use an initialization event. Next one is the add selection screen. It triggers inputting. Uh, it triggers after inputting the values and in the selection screen, and it is used to validate the values whether that value is correct or wrong. So if you want to check do the whether value is correct or wrong, what you need to do, you have to fetch the data from database. If size of RC equal to 0, that means the value is there, success. If the size of RC not equal to 0, the value does not exist in the database, and raise an error message if the data does not exist, guys. Start of selection, it will be triggered after successfully processing of your selection screen values, and it is used to do in a processing logic, guys. That's a start of selection event. And so that's the start of selection event, guys. And guys, the one more event I call at selection screen on field, guys. See, whenever I do any selection, so where is your friend Sai? I think he will not come. It's in Monday will come, yeah. So everything is gone by the Monday. 3 weeks, 1 week is gone. So so what we are going to see is SE38 and the last program. What is the last program, guys? I think this one. Huh? Mm, I think this one, right? And display. Yeah, maybe what I will do is I will copy this, guys. I'll copy this program, and this is my okay reporting events. What reporting events? Maybe classical reporting events. Classical reporting events. Copy. And also, guys, yesterday we have seen a some kind of special. I think it is cross of 30 characters. It seems. Huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Why it's gone here? Suddenly it's not working. I think it's loose connection. Can you check once? Seven. Kill. Yeah, it's working, Sai. So this is the program which we have developed in the last class. And the initialization, when it will be triggered, guys, the initialization will be triggered before selection screen display. So if you want to default any values in the selection screen, we are going to default the values. And here you can see the defaulted value. But the select options, we are have a different behavior, guys. If it is in a select options, it's an internal table actually. The selections after the select option field is an internal table. And if you want to transfer the data to the internal table, first you need to transfer the data to the work area. Then you need to append the data from work area to the internal table. But it's a special, guys. The select options will create the internal table and work area with the same name. With the same name, it will create. No need to send append s underscore date to the s underscore date. You can write only one s underscore date. It will work, guys. Then at selection screen, and we are going to validate the field. See, I am selecting the data from database, and if the data does not exist, we are going to raise an error messages, guys. And also I am checking another field as well in the same event. And so actually this is also one more kind of select statement, guys. See, so this is a different kind of select statement. We have seen different kind of select statements. So three now till now we've seen four kind of select statement. Okay, one is first selecting the data to the work area, then append the data from work area to the internal table. Red, it doesn't give good performance, guys. Next, select star from database table into table, internal table. Directly we are sending the data to internal table, but the disadvantage is we are selecting all the fields from the database table. Even this is also will give less performance. And the best select statement is select specific fields. Whatever the fields you want, select those fields. And from database table into table, internal table, guys, where condition will be there for all select statements. It's a generic thing. Where condition filter, based on the filter you need to put in a where condition. I'm not talking about the where conditions. Okay, this is the one kind of select statement which will give them a very good performance compared to the uh, previous not previous, compared to the all kind of select statements. And the fourth one is, suppose I have a more fields or less fields in the uh, internal table, and I am selecting the fields from the database table which are doesn't equal or doesn't match. Then we are going to use an into corresponding fields of the keyword, guys. Here you can see into corresponding fields of table. Here I have declared a gt underscore back with all the fields, but I am selecting only sorry, taken 100 mbps here. So it will calculate. Now I think it's coming. Hello, hello.
We can hear you, sir.
Yeah. Um, so it will calculate number of records from the database, right? So it will calculate like describe table. Describe table will calculate the records in the internal table. In the database table, the statement is select count star. It will calculate number of records in the database table, guys. That's the name, select count star. And this is the syntax. How can you write this? This is an example. Okay, this is an example how to write in a select count star, guys, and save here. And now this is the thing, we calculated the number of records. So even if there is no record, even it will return the size of RC system variable not equal to 0, or else gv count equal to 0. That also you can check it, guys. If the gv count equal to 0 means there is a 0 records. So there are many ways you can check it, right? So even I send the sales organization to the table. So how to take these tables, guys? How to take these tables? From which table you need to validate the tables? From which table you have to take this? Yeah, check table you need to take it, guys, always, or master table you have to take it. Not only yeah, this field is there in a VBAC. So go to the VBAC and see the check table. What are the field? If you know what are the table, go to the table and see the check table, guys. So that's the name, validating the sales organization. Here we are validating the distribution channel, guys. And this is the uh, next one is after, yeah, if there is no errors, that means the at selection screen is processed successfully. When it is processed successfully, the start of selection event will be triggered. So in the start of selection, we are going to write to the processing logic. The processing logic is we are going to fetch the data from the database table for the given selection criteria. The given selection criteria is s underscore date, p underscore vkorg, p underscore vtwg, p underscore spa rt. And then the data will be, we are storing the data in the gt underscore vback table. And see, guys, why I have used into corresponding fields over here. And go to the internal table. So this internal table is declared all the fields from the database table. And but I am selecting only some fields. So if you are selecting some fields, your database table, this is having 178 fields. So that time you have to use in a into corresponding fields of table, guys. When you get this kind of requirements, you need to use, but it's in a bad kind of bad statement. It doesn't give any good performance, guys. So it doesn't give, it provides the low performance. Okay, so almost we have seen 5 kind of select statement, guys. Now we'll see, guys, maybe now I go to the one more thing, execute. Okay, I'm giving ju and 0 0. See, guys, normally I have given in a wrong value for the distribution channel. Okay, is it goes to the output? No. Why? Because your input selection is having wrong values. Execute. See, a wrong distribution channel, but your cursor is going to where? Actually, get date, guys. Actually, error is on distribution channel. Your cursor goes to the date, which is not a good way of writing the code, guys. If it is an error, it should go to the same field. It should go to the same field. So if that is the case, at selection screen doesn't work, guys. So at selection screen is an event for the generic event for all selection screen field. It's a generic event. It will work for all selection screen field. It is a generic event which work for all selection screen fields, and when there is a validation on selection screen field, if any error, the cursor goes to first field in the selection screen. So it goes to the first field of the selection screen, guys. If there is an error, so see, I have given some error intentionally, and it goes to the cursor goes to the first field of the selection screen. But actually, ideally, it should come to this field, guys, because the error is in the distribution channel. The cursor should come to the distribution channel. So if you want to validate the particular fields, If you want to validate the particular fields, if you want to get a cursor to the particular field, we are going to use the event. The event we call it's an at selection screen on field, guys. That's an event. Now I do the maybe I comment this case. Okay, I'm just commenting, or else what I can do is I will keep as it is, and I'm going to do an at selection. hmm, at selection. What happened? Spelling mistake. Yeah, at selection screen on my field is p underscore. Already I have validated p underscore vkorg, p underscore vtwg. Maybe I will validate the next field p underscore spart. On field means on selection screen field, guys. So which field I'm going to validate? P underscore spart. Very important, guys. This you should understand. So p underscore spart. And guys, what I need to do if I want to do any validation, I should know the database table, right? And go to the SE11 and we back and display. Data dictionary is very important, guys. If you don't do data, if you don't know data dictionary, you cannot do anything in the ABAP. So SAP, any software meant for the data processing. Here the data dictionary ABAP, the data dictionary handles the database concepts. And here you can see the SPART, SPART. And if you go to the entry help check, you can see the TVTA is the table, guys, check table. And I'm going to select here. I'm going to introduce next one more select kind of one more select case. Select single SPART. I'm selecting that field. Okay, select only single record. Select single SPART, or else you can write first that field level. I can use like this. Select a single star. Okay, from what is the table? From table TV TA into, guys, I'm going to select in a single record, guys. I'm going to select in a single record. If you select in a single record, are you going to store in internal table? Are you going to store in variable? Star means all field, variable correct only. But here I am doing in a star, all fields. All fields means multiple fields. Multiple fields, single record, multiple fields. Where you need to store it? Work area, guys. Perfect. GS underscore TVTA. Where where SPART and which is equal to the P underscore SPART. This is the value which you are going to enter on the selection screen, right? So maybe how do you raise the error message? If psi hyphen sub RC not equal to 0. That means if there is no record, if there is no record, it will return psi sub RC not equal to 0 and raise an error message. Okay, no, or maybe wrong uh, division. Perfect. And type, what kind of type it is? It's an error code, error message, guys. Type error, save it and print and do the syntax check. Yes, guys. GS underscore TVTA, and so this is not declared, this is not defined. You need to define over here, and it's in a GS underscore TVTA. It's in a work area, right? Type table of TVTA. Huh? Okay, type only. You have to use type, guys. Just I am checking. Okay, so whatever I told, you should not believe it. Huh? I will do mistakes, right? So you have to tell me, you have to correct me if I do the wrong, guys. So it's in a work area. It's a type of TVTA. And if there is no record, and it is going to give an error message. This is also one kind of select statement. See, select a single star. Star means it will fetch all the fields, but it will fetch only single record, guys. TVTA. It will fetch only single records, but it will select all the fields, guys. That's a name. SPART, guys. That's an SPART. So maybe this is one kind of select statement. Okay, we'll see all possible kind of select statements, guys. So this is my another select statement. Sixth select single. So it's all interview questions, guys. Okay, definitely they may ask this kind of things. Okay, select single star. Okay, it will fetch single record from database. It will fetch single record from the database, but the condition is we have to use primary key, because if you want to fetch single record we need to use a primary key, otherwise so it doesn't fetch in a proper record, guys. It doesn't fetch in a proper record. So that's a select single star. So what it will exactly do is it will fetch particular record directly when we use primary key. When we use primary key, guys. Okay, and since you are using primary key, performance is high. Whenever you use primary key, guys, performance is always high. Okay, it's a unique record. The read up, whenever you read it, it gives more performance, guys. That's a select single star. And this is my sixth kind of select statement. Sixth, yeah, sixth kind of select statement, guys. So maybe, guys, again, I always, if I want to understand the program, I put in a breakpoints, guys. See, initialization. So, guys, until here, it's in a declaration part. You should not put in a breakpoint and a declaration part, guys. Okay, always you need to put in a breakpoints on the executable code. So from here, the executable code under initialization event, what is the code we have, guys? This is the code under the initialization event. Under at selection screen, we have the code till over here. Under at selection screen on field, we have the code until here. And after the start of selection, the code comes here, guys. Guys, suppose if you write, maybe I comment this code. Guys, this code is under which event then? At selection screen on field, guys. So actually, whenever you start the new event, the previous event processing, the previous event code will be completed, guys. That's the foundation, right? So we started this event, that means this code is ended. So that's the important thing you need to understand. Don't write statements on the selection screen, guys. Selection screen, don't write the write statement. We'll see that kind of things later. So what are the things we can do in the events? Maybe I'm going to put the breakpoints over here. See, and see, everywhere I am putting the breakpoints, guys. Every event, under every event I put on a breakpoint. We'll see the sequence, guys. These are very, very important. So if you debug, then you can understand what exactly the events, how the events will be exactly executed, guys. See, first if I execute, which event will be triggered? Initialization. Maybe I do in a small trick, guys. So copy this code, Control X. I put that code after here, guys. Last I am putting. Did you get my uh, thing? So what I did, my initialization event, which I have written in the 80-second length, okay, and I put in a breakpoint now. So again, you need to put the breakpoints, guys. Why? Because I removed the code. So okay, so what I'm going to do is execute it. See, guys, the cursor goes to the initialization event. So I told ABAP is the name. ABAP is an event-driven language. It's not a linear programming language. See, so the sequence, it starts wherever you write it. I've written in the 82nd line code. Ideally, previously what you have seen without events, it triggers line by line sequence, right? So it's not a linear programming language. ABAP is not. If there is an event, it's not a linear programming language. It's an event-based programming language. If there is no event, definitely it will execute in a linear way, guys. So now the cursor goes to the execution goes to the first. It goes to the uh, first. It goes to the భయ్యా భయ్యా క్లాస్ లో ఉన్నా భయ్యా మీకు మళ్ళీ చేస్తా ఆ, ఆ, పర్లేదు సార్ క్లాస్ అయిపోగానే ఫోన్ చేస్తా సరేనా అదే ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ లో ఉన్నా సార్ అవునా అవునా సార్ ఓకే సార్ రైట్ 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 సరే సరే కానీ ఇంజనీరింగ్ అయిపోలే కదా స్వామి మీ పాపది ఇప్పుడు ఇంజనీరింగ్ అయిపోయింది అయిపోలే కదా డిప్లొమా కదా ఆ, సరే సరే క్లాస్ అయిపోయినాక మాట్లాడదాం సార్ ఓకే సరే ఆ, సరే సరే ఓకే సార్ రైట్ రైట్ సరే సార్ ఓకే సార్ రైట్ ఓకే బై there is no pass option, they are disabled. Okay, so the initialization, see, I have written this initialization code in the 82nd line, but ideally the code should start from here, right? The code should start from 30th line. So ABAP is an event based programming language, guys. So first it will trigger initialization event. So it comes to the why initialization, because see, this is our flow, guys. First we have input screen, then processing logic, output, and so whenever you execute in a program, it should display. We have in a selection screen, it should display in a selection screen. So before selection screen, the initialization event will be triggered. So the first it is triggered is the initialization, and with the initialization event, we are going to provide provide the default values, and maybe I'm going to see the default values. See now, so p underscore vk was the first, it is in a blank, we are assigning the value, and s underscore date select option, guys. Whenever you define a select option, it creates a work area, it creates an internal table. Even guys, work area, you can see there is a header line. Header means it's in a work area. Cap symbol, if you see the cap symbol, it's in a work area. If you see the brackets, it's an internal table, guys. So first, if you want to store the data 0, if you want to assign the values to the internal table, you need to pass the values to the work area, and initially it is in a blank, and pass the values f5 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 f5, and you see the data I include between the low value and the high value, guys, and append. See, guys, append s underscore date. Now you can see it is defaulted the values to the selection screen, guys. Maybe I give 10. The first two are good, guys, because already we have validated these two things. But the third field I'm going to give in a junk. Okay, the third one, the division SPART, and for this we are validating with the event at selection screen on field. But these two events we are validating with the at selection screen event. It's a generic event, it is which is executed for all fields. But uh, this is the field which we have used at selection screen on field. Only that event will be triggered for this field, guys. Now I execute, I will see the sequence now. See, guys, the first, so after the selection screen, if first it goes to the head selection screen on field, guys. See, first it goes to the head selection screen on field. It is validating size sub RC equal to the 4. That means there is no record. JU is not exist in the TVTA. So I need to give an error message. See, size sub RC not equal to 0. 4 means not equal to 0. It goes inside and it will raise an error message. It will raise an error. A wrong division. See guys, the other fields are disabled for the input. You cannot enter. You cannot enter the input because they are good. They are correct. But this field is wrong. Even the cursor comes exactly to that field only. The cursor comes exactly to that field, and also you can, the input is enabled for that field. You can change the input guys. Maybe as a user, yeah, it's a wrong field. Now I can say it's in a right field guys, and right field always gives me output. Right field, right value will gives me an output guys. That's a name. Head selection screen on field guys. What exactly the behavior you have seen? What exactly the behavior when it is an at selection screen on field? Do the copy. So it triggers after inputting the values in the selection screen for that particular field, right? For that particular field. And also guys, it triggers before at selection screen event. First it will trigger the at selection screen on field, then it will trigger the at selection screen event guys. So before this event means first it will trigger, sorry guys, at selection screen on field. On field, on field means it's a field name guys. On field means it's a selection screen field name. So we are using p underscore vt spart, right? So that's in the selection screen field. On field means, okay, it triggers after input and it triggers before the selection screen event. It is used to validate the values for the particular field, not for all the fields. For the particular field, and it is particular event, it's not a generic event. And when there is a validation on the selection screen field, if any error, the cursor goes to the that field, that field or that validated field only, and it enable that field for the input. For all other fields will be disabled for the input guys. Exactly, this is the behavior which we have seen, right? See, again I do the things. So I give an error when it is an error only guys, and it is an error f8. See guys, first event which will be triggered at selection screen on field. See, error, it is enabled that field. The cursor goes to that particular field and it is enabled to input the value, but other fields are disabled for the input guys. That's an at selection screen on field guys. At selection screen on field. So now guys, maybe I told right. So it will be triggered before the selection screen. That means whenever you give the error, it doesn't go to the at selection screen. Why? Because the error comes first, right? The error comes first. Maybe I give the right value. So we'll see what exactly the sequence of the events case. So maybe I come back. So now my question is, so what are the, it's an interview question guys, what are the sequence of the events that will be executed? So sequence of the reporting events, sequence of the events execution in reports. So first we'll see guys. So see, now execute first. Okay, it goes hanged guys. Come back, execute. See guys, first it goes to the initialization. So everything I talk the subject with debugging only guys. Initialization. I don't want to teach with a by heart way of doing. This is a practical. See, I am showing in the debugging first, which is triggering initialization. Okay, it's not a by heart way of doing the things. Next, F5, F5, F5. Yes, the code which is there under initialization, which is triggering. So which is used to default the values. I defaulted the values and F8, and it comes to the selection screen, and I enter the selection screen. First, maybe I'll enter this time a right values case because I need to see the sequence. If I give the error, it stops. It raises the error message, it stops over there. The program the program execution stops. So if I give the right messages, so execute. See guys, the event which will be triggered is at selection screen on field guys. The second event, the cursor you see, you can see the yellow. So this cursor is under at selection screen on field. At selection screen on field. Next. So maybe it will validate. Yes, guys, I have given a right value 00, which is exist in the database. See, size of our guys, always your eyes should be here, right? So see, always guys, whenever you debug, so there is a Balakrishna dialogue, right? Chudu, vakavaipe chudu. So here also, whenever you debug, you have to always look into the main debugger area, and also the size of RC and site abex, and also the values area, guys. The three areas are very, very important. You need to look at these three areas, very, very important. Okay, so function print screen, and you can see control V over here, and take. So always guys, the cursor how this is executing your program, the program execution flow, and whether your statement is executing successfully or not, always size sub RC. Then the values, what are the values in your data objects? So these three areas are very, very important when you do any debugging. Immediately you need to see the data elements, data object values, selection screen values, everything. Always your eyes should be on three areas. Okay, one is here, the second one is here, the third one is here, guys. Sometimes you will not see the data objects. Double click on the data objects, always important, guys. So whenever you come here, my data objects are here. This is my data object. This is my data object. This is my data objects. See, it contains the variables and work areas and internal tables. Those contains the values. So if you want to see the values, click on these things. See size of 00, and guys, gs underscore tvta. Check whether the record is there or not. Yes, it is pulled out that record. Yes, the record is exist in the work area, and size of RC equal to 0. Yeah, so this is executed successfully. Yes, there is no error. I don't want to bother about that statement. I goes to the next, and next guys, and which event is triggered? At selection screen event is triggered, guys. So see, so I didn't by heart. So with the debugging, I'm getting these things, guys, at selection screen. And guys, and also here I'm executing in a now the cursor is at select statement, guys. I'm giving because the most important part in the if you want to survive in the real time, the debugging is very, very important, guys. You can do a lot of things with the debugging. That's why I concentrated more on the debugging for your batch. Even that batch also I suggested to do the debugging, but most of the people doesn't like, because we are the lazy people. So I don't want to do the debugging line by line. Just I need to execute. If I execute, I need to get a result. So which is not a good idea, guys. If you want to learn, when you are learning, do always your program with the debugging. I executed this, and now size sub RC equal to the 0. So that means it's a success. Yes, the record is exist. If the record is exist, why I need to raise an error? Not required. And next record, yes, the size of RC equal to 0. Yes, the record is exist. And see, guys, and that's it. The at selection screen events are completed. Now, when the all your input values successfully processed, which event will be triggered? When all your input values successfully processed, start of selection event will be triggered. Now it goes to the start of selection event, guys. See, F5, it goes to the, see, the cursor comes under the start of selection event. See, all your input values successfully processed, the start of selection event will be triggered. So it will be triggered. So I give the perfect definition. It will be triggered after successfully processing of selection screen values and it is used to do the processing logic, guys. That's a start of selection event. Now you can see, and guys, see, whenever if you want to check, always guys, you need to first check whether the record is exist in the database or not. And so what are the records we have? Suppose I'm doing an F5, size above 0 immediately. Okay, I have some records. And where are the records? Where are the records? Where the records are stored? In the internal table, right? Leave about database. You are fetching the data from the database, but in the program execution, in the runtime execution, you are storing the data in the internal table. And go to the internal table. There are 224 records, right? And maybe I go here, GT underscore VBAC. And guys, see, maybe you are getting some value, some problem in the one record, guys. You need to check first that record. Okay, this is my record which is giving me the error. Okay, so without seeing this record, I'm getting error. No use. First, you go to that record, see the values in that record. So see the values. Yes. Okay. This is the values. Okay. This is the order type. Okay. Okay. This is the value, zero value we have. And this is the sales organization distribution channel and division. Yes, I see this record. Maybe I'm doing some kind of processing logic in the loop and loop, right? Maybe what I'm going to do is, see guys, there is an error, some record. Actually, this record is there in some particular position. Okay, in some particular position. Maybe I can do like this. I can see, okay, I'm going to display the data F5. So I'm looping the records, I'm displaying the data, guys. Maybe sometimes what I can do is F7. So guys, my values, some value is there here, internal table 20229, which is giving me some error, guys. So what I can do, I will wait until 20229. So if it is in a very less records, I can do like this, case loop and loop. I will do record by record. Somewhere it is going inside. Okay, okay, every record I process. And guys, you can check size tab x value changing for each loop record. The index value it is changing in the loop and loop. The current loop pass value will be stored in the site tab x inside the loop and loop. This is my fourth record, guys. See, if you want to see fourth record or not, 226. Again, go to the internal table, you will come to know. Internal table 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 to 6. It's in a fourth record. Site tab x equal to the 4, guys. So maybe my record, my error is, my error record is at 229. Seventh record, yes, guys. I can loop it. I can loop it. Sorry, F7. Yes, I can get it. I can get it. Guys, seniors, look at this. Rakesh Pendota and Pasha. So I'm going to explain one important thing here. So here you can see, yes, I'm going to loop this and maybe my value comes the next 28. Okay, that's fine. Next loop comes and yes, guys. So it's in a 29. Yes, I will see the processing logic and I can determine whether it is going, what is the error, where it is going, guys. But my record is somewhere like we have 229 records, right? My record is error at the sales order number, which is equal to the 223, guys. At the 223, the order number is 20455. Okay, so if I want to come to this sales order, how many times I need to loop like this? Always you need to loop for 200 times. So I do not have that much time, guys. I need to, maybe in this case we have only 200 record. You have, in yesterday's case, one of my student, he is having 94,000 records, but the record error is at 90,000 records. Are you going to do F5 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 like this, F5 F5 like this? No. So there should be a shortcut where exactly I need to go to that record, guys. So that's a debugging of the, where is the debugging introduction. So it's all concepts, guys. Parallel processing. Okay, so there are some debugging concepts which I have introduced. Yeah. So first program I have introduced the debugging. So the next things in the debugging is so debugger and new slide. The concept we call it's a watch point, guys. So what exactly the watch point? Okay. It sets the breakpoint dynamically in the runtime execution based on values, case, not based on the code. Previously we put the code on we put the breakpoint on the code, but we are putting in a breakpoint based on the value, and also it's in a dynamic in the runtime execution. See, so this is a watch point. So I'm going to set in a breakpoint, put here gs underscore vback, guys. So always record by record comes to the work area. So the sales order will be stored in the gs underscore vback vbe-ln, guys. See, gt underscore vback, my order number equal to 455. So select here, go to the breakpoints, and you can see there is a create watch point, guys. So here my value, and which is equal to the my order number, guys, always. So here you need to select the variable, what is the field name. So always the sales order number will be stored in the gs underscore vback hyphen vb every record. So loop, the record goes to the gs underscore vback, second record goes to the gs underscore vback, third record goes to the vback underscore record, and 223 record also that will be stored in the gs underscore vback. The sales order number will be in the vbln field. So see, I'm putting in a condition when the sales order equal to 20455, when this is reached, okay, and stop me, the execution stop. So now I am going to set on a breakpoint. See, watch point is created. So now directly I execute f8, guys. When I press f8, now we are in the 8th loop. It will stop in the 223 loop, guys. See, f8. See, guys, exactly site abex equal to 223 and sales order number equal to the 20455. It is executed all your the 223 minus 8 215 loops. It is executed and it comes to the particular point. Here we have only 200 records. If it is 90,000 records also, the 90,000 loops will be executed. It comes to the particular record, guys. This is a watch point. And so same way you need to debug. Suppose if you see there is an error, if you want to debug for the particular value, put in a watch point and press F8 and assign the value, that particular value, and F8, you comes to that record, you comes to that loop and see what's happening, the wrong, what's going the wrong with your code, guys. So that's a watch point, very, very important, guys, this. So this is the thing. Even so watch point is also one of the important um, in the debugging, guys. So that's the name, debugging, one more concept, and execute, and you see the output, guys. You see the output. So that's the name, one of the event. The event is, so we talked about some of the events: initialization at selection screen on field, start of selection, guys. And also, guys, see the report. Actually, as an end user, I know I am the developer, I developed it. I know this is the sales order number, right? I know this is the order date. I know this is an order type, and I know this is a sales organization, this is a distribution channel, this is a division, and this is a customer. But you are giving it to the store manager, he doesn't know SAP. Just he will execute, that's it. We will give the transaction for this, guys. I created a transaction code for this. Restart, it's a report. Okay, so my report, can we can create the transaction code for the our custom reports as well, like how you see va01 VH02, VH03, right? There are the standard reports. Like we have, it's in a custom code. We can design our custom codes as well, guys. Custom transactions as well. So if you want to design the transaction code, okay, to create T code, the transaction code itself, create T code transaction is SE93, guys. So by using SE93, I can create a transaction code for my own program, for my custom program. So first, let me create a transaction code and go to the transaction code. What is the transaction code? To create a transaction code, SE93, guys. So you have to remember all these transaction code. SE93. And guys, GEDG9, it's in a report, first report, guys, report 1. Shortcuts I am giving for the transaction code. Okay, so this is my transaction code. EDG9, Z, you have to start always your own custom transaction, and EDG9 is my naming convention, R is my report 1, and create. And it's an a, what is this? It's an a classical event reporting. And guys, so here there are different options, guys. Here you need to select, it's in a program and selection screen, right? We are designing a selection screen with a program. You need to select the radio button, program and selection screen. Radio button, choose and assign the program name. So this is the program. This is the program. And selection screen always 1000, guys. By default, it's in a 1000. By default, it's in a 1000 is the selection screen. And you need to select all these radio button, select check boxes. Okay, this transaction I can call from GUI for HTML and also GUI for Java, GUI for the Windows, and save it and okay. One request and request for the transport for the reports and okay. And so no activation, guys. Transaction code is not, activation is not required. So now I take this transaction code, guys. So where you will enter the transaction code here, GEDG 9R1, execute. See, guys, so your program is triggered. When I execute my transaction, the program, whatever you assign to the transaction code is executed, guys. So did you get? So I have a transaction code for a program. So for every transaction background, there is a program, guys. Simple. Here also, I have my own transaction. So GEDG 9R1. This is the transaction for the classical reporting events. And I have assigned a program to this transaction. When I execute this transaction, the program which is assigned to this transaction code will be executed. See, this is the program which I have assigned to this transaction code. So this is triggered, guys. It is triggered initialization. Same way, initialization done. It goes to the selection screen. When I enter the values in the selection screen, and when I execute, it goes to that selection screen on field sequence, same sequence. And when I execute it, it goes to that selection screen. Uh, at selection screen, it goes to the at selection screen. When I execute it, it goes to the start of selection, guys. That's the sequence of the events execution, and that's it. This is my report, guys. This is my report. So this is I have given to the store manager. So just store manager will open the SAP. He will enter this transaction and enter. Now I am working like a store manager. Execute and execute. And so sorry, you need to enter the value. Blank also it doesn't take, right? So F8 and F8 and no values found. Execute. Wrong distribution channel. Space, it is taking a space as a wrong distribution channel. Now, guys, so even you need to, the store manager doesn't know, right, which data it is and which data it is and which data it is. If I want to give the particular identification, what I need to do, tell me. Can anybody tell? Huh? What I need to do? Huh? Text. Okay, where I need to give the text? Huh? Okay, that's the okay. That's the selection screen text. That's okay. That's a selection screen text, guys. So this is an output text. So whatever you are talking is okay, but it's this text. This text is a selection screen text. And for the output text, you need to write in a code for the output, guys. See, change, and I give the, so before displaying the data, that means before looping the data, first I will set the description, right? My first field is sales order, and my second field is order date. My third field is order type, and my fifth field is uh, sales arc. I'm giving some shortcuts, and my sixth field is uh, distribution channel. Dist, okay, D channel, and my next field is division, and last field is customer. That's it. And save, and pretty printer, and activate, and execute. And guys, execute, enter the values, correct values, guys. Again and again I'm into inputting the values, right? Every time I'm coming and inputting the values, every time I'm coming and inputting the values, guys. So no need to do like that. Save this. Okay, delete all breakpoints, guys. I don't want the breakpoints now. Save, because the debugging is done. Variant, test, test, save. Okay, come back. See, guys, execute the report, enter. See, guys, select this test, select this. You have to choose a variant, guys. So no need to enter again and again. Choose variant and select that variant. You are going to automatically, you will get an input, guys. Okay. So maybe if you want to have your own another variant, yes. So another store manager, you want another variant, F4 20 and 00. Save. This is an Bangalore test, Bangalore store manager. Save. And here Hyderabad store manager will select this, and Bangalore store manager will select this case. So you can put your own variants to the reports. You can set your own variant. Variant means here the input repeated input selection I can store as a variant, and that's the thing, guys. Maybe I execute this now. Maybe I do not have the data, guys. I do not have the data. So come back and maybe enter the correct input, 1000 and 10 and 00, and execute. See, guys, sales order and order type and order, okay, order date, guys, not the type. SE 38, change order date, order type, correct only, right? Yeah. So I'm going to do this. Maybe select the Hyderabad, execute. Order, sales order, order date, order. See, guys, here also it is giving me the confusion, right? My text is more, my data is less. So now tell me what I can do. What I can do? Maybe what I can do is I will put in a separator, vertical lines, guys. Now comes into the V lines and horizontal lines. I display this as in a tabular format. So we'll display this data in a tab. Actually, my eye is not good, guys. So I'm going to display the data. So what I am going to put is, so after this text, I put in a U line first. All right. And also the text, I will put in a colors, guys. Format colors will give more beautification. Okay, color. First apply the color on the headings. So which color do you want? Red. Okay, red is number 6 or 5? 5. Okay, good. And format color off, because I apply only the color to the text and underline. Then switch off the color. format color off. Verti printer. Now see guys, for each record, suppose if I apply the color here, format color, maybe what color do you want? Data. Data, which color do you want? 3 means yellow. Yellow. So here, format color half. Each record I am going to apply the color. And guys, so here, if I want to have a vertical line, so after the field guys, psi hyphen v line, you need to print psi hyphen v line and print this for all the descriptions. After every field, I want a vertical line. After every field, I want a vertical line, guys. See, so here no comma, end, you need to put in a period. See, now we'll see this only this text first. Execute and select the input. Execute. See guys, sales order, you get in a vertical format, vertical lines, and also the data comes in a yellow color. And guys, even so this order date should be printed here, the OR should be printed under this, and the 1000 should be printed under this, the 10 should be printed under this, the 00 should be printed under this, the customer should be printed under this case. Maybe, so what I am going to do is, first I am going to print. See guys, how many guys, if you want to print with this format, so how can I print it is by using offset functionality we have to use guys. See, so sales order is there from 1 to 1 2 3 4 5 6 space also 1 7 8 9 10 11 12 sorry 12 and space, and 13th one is the vertical line guys. I need to print the vertical line, first vertical line on the 13th. Okay, so come back or come back, and here I am going to put, I am going to print the things guys, the data I need to handle it. The first vertical line should be printed. Maybe, so how many lines I need to print this guys? How many lines I need to print this order number? So maybe first I need to print this as a 0 of 12. First print a not 12, 13, and the psi v line. Print all the things psi v line. Okay, so I think it's not working. So you need to start from the immediate slash. So print all this content for the first 13 characters. Okay, first 13 characters, the 13 characters should be in a psi v line. Okay, so that's okay. The next thing start from 13, right? Next 13 of, next how many characters? Order date. So date I will calculate here. Yes, what is the transaction code which we have designed? G EDZ 9 R1 and select test execute. So next it will print here from here 13 of, how many lines I need to print? 1, okay, and 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 and 13 guys. 13 of 13, 13 of 13, not 26, 13 of next 13, leave the 13 and
Sir, I can't hear you. Sir, voice is sir. Sir, we can't hear you, sir. Sir, in peace. సార్ వినిపిస్తలే సార్. సార్ So, sir, I can't hear you, sir. Sir, I'm not hearing you.